Hello everybody and welcome back to Fantasy Football. So it's probably going to be a fairly quick episode this week because I haven't really watched any of the football games. I've been away and the only thing I really saw was the Man City Leicester match. So I've kind of like completely out of the loop really, but and I haven't really had time to catch up yet either, or watch Match of the Day or something like that. So I'll give you a kind of brief overview of the team. Not really very amazing week. I guess we did pretty well. Sterling did okay, although I guess captain double those points. Salah, Firmino, the real stars of the show. Kane getting a goal, but everyone else is doing pretty mediocre really. The big news was that I didn't have Sergio Aguero in the team. He scored 4 goals and was worth I think 42 points if you had him as your captain alone. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? A friend of mine did have that, so he absolutely tonked me this week by about 30 points, but there you go. We ended up on 62, which if the average is 52, I'm happy with. Like, I like to beat the average. It does make us go down, still hanging on to that under $1 million place. But yeah, the whole Aguero thing, that hurt for sure. Definitely. Well done if you did have Aguero in your team. I did not think Man City were going to tonk Leicester 5-1, but they did. Aguero was really good, as ever, just does what he does best, score goals really. His last one, the 4th one I think, was the best, and it just, like, it's one of those ones where when you look at it you're like, wow, the goalkeeper should have done better there, but then you look at it and like, nah, that was just a really good hit, just curled it right into the top, but it was like a curl but also like hit really hard. It did that thing where it clipped like the underside of the bar, which is like always nice and sweet when you do that, score a goal. So yeah, Man City just absolutely destroying Leicester, who are not a bad side whatsoever, but Man City are just that good, I guess. I'm really looking forward to the Champions League games. Not so much, I guess, for Man City, but I'm looking forward to them perhaps getting some competition of who they're playing, you know, and seeing how they do against, like, the Real Madrid, Barcelona, you know, Bayern Munich's of this world, you know, seeing exactly how good they are, whether or not this is just a season where perhaps the Premier League teams are not exactly firing on all cylinders, or if this Man City team is the real deal. They've got Basel as their opponent, which honestly, like, Basel are not the worst side in the world, but I would imagine that the majority of Premier League teams would beat Basel over 2 legs. So, and that's like Premier League teams that aren't Man City. So I imagine Man City are going to absolutely tonk them, but stranger things have happened, I guess. There's some humdingers in that Champions League. I think we've got was it Barcelona, Chelsea, and I think it's Real Madrid, PSG, isn't it? Which that's it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Anyway, back to the Premier League fixtures. Spurs v Arsenal. Spurs win 1-0. Harry Kane goal. From what I know of this match, from listening to people chat about it on the radio and stuff, it was a fairly even first half. Apparently Arsenal had a goal ruled out, which probably should have stood. But Spurs absolutely smashed them in the second half and should have scored more. So perhaps the Arsenal revival is not quite as good. I said they needed to win that game to stand a chance of finishing in the top 4. I don't believe they can finish in the top 4 anymore. I think there's too much of a gap now. It's what, 8 points, and I don't see them picking that up. They've got Man City next, so that's at home. I think it's going to be another Europa League season for Arsenal fans. It's interesting. I mean, yes, they could win the Europa League and get into the Champions League a la Man United. There is the small point of Atletico Madrid being in that, still in that Europa League, and for me being the favourites, so you have to imagine that it would be those two perhaps in the final if they don't draw each other before. But I think Arsenal have just got to completely focus on the Europa League now and try and win that to salvage a season. I think if they win that, that's a really good achievement as well. There's no shame in that whatsoever. They've still got the Carabao Cup final coming up as well. You know, there's nothing wrong in that. But like, I think they're going to finish at least 6th. But I don't see them really finishing higher. I think they're just going to finish 6th. But I think really Wenger's legacy is going to depend upon Europe. Now, if he wins that Europa League, I think he can bow out with some pride, some dignity, and leave Arsenal in the Champions League, where he got them so many times in the past. Hopefully hand over to a decent manager, proven manager, not like a Thierry Henry or something who has never managed a club before. And I guess Arsenal can get back to trying to be Arsenal. But if he doesn't win that Europa League, if he doesn't win anything, if he finishes 6th, then things will be pretty poisonous at the Emirates, I would imagine. Everton smashed Crystal Palace. Palace are just crap, aren't they, basically? We'll survive, as I said, this season if there are 3 worse teams than us. Which is going to be tough. We got Tottenham next. Brilliant. Yep. I generally worry about us. Zaha's out injured for a few weeks. He won't be at the top of the game. Some clubs are starting to have a revival. Huddersfield, perhaps. Swansea, definitely. I've got to hope that these other teams are just stay down there. You know, for the love of God. Please. I think West Brom are probably gone. They got beaten by Chelsea tonight. But it was beginning to look comfortable under Roy, and now it's beginning to look very uncomfortable again. Coinciding, I guess, with Zaha getting injured as usual. I don't know. I'm very worried. We're 1 point off relegation. Southampton are a good side. Huddersfield are decent. Stoke are quite capable of coming back. It's going to be a real tough one. Real tough one. I kind of hope West Brom will beat Huddersfield. I hope Stoke lose to Leicester. I hope Southampton lose to Burnley. Both of those are reasonable expectations. At this rate, I'd probably hope that Brighton lose to Swansea. I think Swansea might be better than Brighton, but I don't know. Maybe a draw is the best result there. And I hope that to hell that we can get something out of that Tottenham game. Stoke drew with Brighton 1-1. Stoke in trouble. Swansea beat Burnley. Great win for them. Swansea now drag themselves out the relegation zone after being bottom, doing a Crystal Palace. We'll see if that continues. It's, you know, they've had that new manager effect. If it can continue, fair play, but it's still early yet. There's still a lot of football to be played. There's 11 games left. West Ham 2-0 against Watford. Arnautovic proving to be a very good signing for them, I think. But West Ham and Watford kind of vying, I think, for that mid-table kind of place. I think now looking at it, probably like Newcastle down, I'd say, are relegation scraps. I think the others have got enough about them to not saying they don't have to worry about it. A couple of losses and they could be down there, but I think their teams are good enough that they can stay up now. They're obviously, I talked about Man City, Tonky, Leicester, Huddersfield smashing Bournemouth was a surprise for everyone. I think Huddersfield have been terrible recently, absolutely atrocious run, barely scoring a goal, and then they went Bournemouth 4-1. Now apparently they played very attacking football, and you know, fair play to them, I guess. Like, I can't hope Huddersfield stay up. As long as they continue to play that football which they were known for coming up in. Because I heard that they were playing very defensively, and that was, you know, wasn't working for them. So now maybe they're attacking. Maybe they can do it. Maybe they can stay up. They got West Brom next, so if they're going to win a bloody game, that's the game they should win. You know. Newcastle with a shock win against Man United. I mean, that is a shock. Fair play to Newcastle. They're hanging on it now, aren't they? Rafa is he's a good manager, but yeah, that's a surprise. That is a surprise. I resist the urge to put Man United players into the team because I felt like they're very inconsistent in a minute. But that is a surprise. 2 losses now in the last 3 games. Tottenham and Newcastle. They got Chelsea next. That'll be a humdinger. That's for sure. Oh yes. But fair play to Newcastle, I guess. Man, someone said today, I was listening to the radio, and they said they don't feel like Man United have on paper a worse squad than Man City. They just feel like Pep Guardiola is just getting way more out of City than Man United are. And I think that's a really valid point. Like, Man United have so many fantastic players that losing 1-0 away to Newcastle is not acceptable. And you've got to say, it kind of comes down to Jose Mourinho a little bit. Yes. Liverpool winning 2-0 against Southampton should have been more. Gutted it wasn't more. Firmino and Salah should have got more. Those two are like having great seasons, aren't they? Firmino and Salah. Obviously Salah the more so, but I think Firmino's having a really good season. But Salah is just phenomenal. 22 goals in the Premier League so far, with 11 games left. Phenomenal. Harry Kane 23. He's not even a striker. This is phenomenal. Aguero has 21. Aguero's got what, like, how many hat-tricks he scored? 1, 2, 3 hat-tricks out of that. Phenomenal. Yeah. I can see Liverpool leapfrogging Man United soon. I can see Man United losing to Chelsea and Liverpool beating West Ham. I can see that happening. Whether or not it will, I don't know, but I can imagine that is going to happen. I think Southampton are in real trouble, but losing to Liverpool is no disgrace. They're a very good side, but they got Burnley next, and that's a tough one. Burnley are on a terrible run though, so we'll see. And then Chelsea tonked West Brom 3-0 tonight. Hazard with 2, Moses with 1, Giroud with the assist. That seems weird just looking at that. And Morata, looks like Morata's back. Just in time for that Barcelona game, I guess. It'd be interesting to see how the Champions League has an effect on these teams, though. That is for sure. I mean, Man City have had injuries, so they might find it difficult balancing things out, but they've got so much of a cushion, haven't they, that, you know, what is it now? It's 16 points. It's so much of a cushion that they can afford to lose a good few games in the league and put out kids basically and still win the league comfortably. So it'll be interesting how it affects these guys, though. You know, that European competition. Arsenal as well, I guess. We'll see how they do. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what I have to say about those teams. Next week, as I already said, Man United Chelsea for me, big game. Arsenal Man City, big game. Big game. I see that as like the last hurdle for Man City. If they win that game, then I don't see them not winning the league. I can't see them not winning the league now, but like I think it'll just cement it there. Arsenal really, Like, I think if you can't beat Tottenham, you can't beat Swansea, you can't beat Bournemouth. I don't think you can beat Man City. So yeah, I would bet against that. Having said that, I think they could score against Man City, so I'm not sure it's good having all these defenders in, but there we go. For the record, I think I switched out Joe Gomez because he was injured for Ben Mee of Burnley, and that was a bad decision. In terms of who I want to switch out, I won't do anything till the 24th because obviously we've got a big gap coming up. But or I do anything closer. But looking at that, you got to say Liverpool look like that's a win. These two teams, I'm not going to bet against them. I'll keep their hair just because it's too expensive to change. Got to say Spurs look like they're going to win that game. But the rest of them look really tight, don't they? Like, I don't really know on this. It's a tough one. Everton come off the back of a good win, but Watford aren't a bad team. I'd probably switch out maybe a Man City defender for like Aguero or something. I don't know. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Has the Aguero boat like sailed now? Perhaps. Should I be going for Morata? I don't know. Let me know your suggestions. I've got a while to think about it, but that pretty much wraps up, I think, this week's fantasy football. As I said, it's a bit of a short one because I didn't get to see much of the games, but interesting times anyway. But thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.